Meeting with the candidates for the superintendent of schools. We have the incumbent, Ms. Nicole Thomas, with the Independent Party. We have Caleb Pulley with the Democratic Party, and Sarah Good with the Republican Party. Nicole Thomas, the incumbent, will now start with her opening remarks.
I would like to thank our sponsors for giving me the opportunity to be here tonight. I'd also like to thank the Independent Party for helping me in running for this year's election. Citizens of Soulfire, you know what I've been doing these past 4 years as I am the incumbent, and I will keep working to ensure that your children get the best education they deserve. And I'd also like to thank tonight's debate moderator, Mr. Bryson Pugh.
Thank you. Opening remarks, Ms. Pulley.
Hi, first off I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. I'd also like to thank Soulfire Public Broadcasting and Mr. Depew, our debate moderator, and the Democratic Party for sponsoring me. My name is Caleb Pulley, and I'm the Democratic candidate running to be the superintendent of schools. And my primary focus is our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Opening remarks, Ms. Good.
Thank you so much to Mr. Depew and to our sponsors in the Republican Party, excuse me. I'm so pleased and honored to represent the Republican Party in the election of superintendent of schools. I'm excited to prove to our viewers tonight my seriousness and qualifications towards this position. I hope to see you all at the polls. Thank you.
Thank you. Our first question today will go to the incumbent, Ms. Nicole Thomas. If you are elected superintendent, what do you plan to do about the overcrowding in our schools?
Well, all of our middle schools and high schools have recently been experiencing a lot of overcrowding from the recent population boom of Soulfire, and I have been working towards opening a new high school. That's what I started working on in my last term. But I would like to open up a new high school that has an all-new building and all-new facilities, as well as rezone the school districts so that there would be an even distribution of students at every school.
All right, thank you. Ms. Pulley?
I would like to rezone our schools in an attempt to make the balance more even of children. But before opening a new high school, I would like to reevaluate the situation before we spend the money to open a new high school.
All right.
I agree with Mrs. Pulley. My plan is to reevaluate the zoning and rezone, and then look at the overcrowding again. And if there's still overcrowding, then I plan to open 3 public high schools instead of only opening 1, and to correct the situation.
All right, thank you. Our second question will go to Ms. Caleb Pulley of the Democratic Party. Some residents of Soulfire want redistricting of schools to be reevaluated. What is your opinion on this?
My plan is to rezone them over the course of 3 years so that we can equally make sure that all of the schools are rezoned equally, but still not change it immediately.
All right.
If we were to rezone the schools in the upcoming term, I would like to hold maybe a couple public forums or places where parents would go and voice their opinions about what should happen, because getting input from the parents is very important. However, I do think that they would notice that it is in their best interest of their students to rezone the schools so that there can be smaller class sizes and a better integration of technology.
All right, thank you. Rebuttal statement, Ms. Pulley?
I think rezoning the schools this upcoming school year would be the quickest way to reevaluate the situation. Doing so over 3 years may not be beneficial because that is the entire span of a middle school grade level. So in order to have the quickest results, we need to take the quickest action plan. I think having after-school programs and ways to get children more excited about their future will decrease gang violence, as mentioned previously.
Okay. Ms. Good?
Decreasing gang violence definitely begins at home. I think what we need to do is have parent forums and explain to them what is going on in our schools, and explain to them that ignorance is what is causing it. I think that we should first educate the parents on the problems of gang violence, and then have them educate their children in that way. After doing some research, I found many programs that dictate to elementary school students in a way that they can understand how the effects of getting involved with bad people and for their learning. And there are projects such as McGruff and things like that that teach them why gangs are bad and why drugs are bad. Not saying about drugs, but hinting that what gangs do is bad because it's bad. And I think that we should really enforce those projects in our elementary schools.
Okay, Ms. Thomas?
I believe that the drug problem and the gang problem do correlate. However, I think that the school system currently takes kind of a shy approach into dealing with it, and I think that students should be immersed, not in a bad way, but in a good way, to know situations or ways they can help their friends, people they can go to. But students definitely need to feel like they have somewhere to go or someone to talk to if they feel as if they're troubled.
Okay. Our final question for this debate is, what separates you from the other candidates in this election? Nicole Thomas.
Well, I'm the current superintendent, so I think that's enough of a separation, and as well as I have experience in this job, so I know exactly what needs to be done, what's already been done, and what can be done in the upcoming term to improve on the school system.
I have experience teaching and being the principal at a middle school, and I feel like I have plenty of fresh ideas working with the university and creating more after-school programs that will ensure that the children get the best education that is possible.
Although I have never been in the superintendent position before, I have worked in central office, so I feel that I have the experience needed to become the superintendent. I also feel that I'm organized and definitely committed, and I can see perspectives of a parent and a teacher in our school systems.
Okay. Well,
I commend my opponents on being in high-ranking positions. However, I think that there is a large difference in being a teacher or an administrator to being the actual superintendent, and so I believe that I have the best qualifications needed for the job.
Having children in the school system helps me see what it is like from the inside, and so I can help see the problems that are in elementary schools and the middle schools, so we can work on improving them.
View of what the schools are like from a personal perspective as well as an outsider's perspective.
all right, now you each have 30 seconds for closing arguments, closing remarks. Nicole Thomas.
I would just again like to thank tonight's sponsors for making this debate possible. I would also like to thank our debate moderator, Mr. Pugh, as well as the independent party for helping me in this election. I would like to remind everyone that I am the current superintendent, and I will continue working to ensure our children get the best education that they deserve.
Okay, I would like to thank our debate moderator, Mr. Depew, and I would like to thank Soulfire Public Broadcasting Station and the Democratic Party of Soulfire for sponsoring us. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here tonight. And I would also like to thank my opponents for running this race. And my name is Kayla Foley, running to be the superintendent of schools, and I will ensure the best education for your children.
I would like to thank our moderator, Mr. Depew, and I would like to thank my sponsor, the Republican Party. I would just like to remind you all that your children are my first priority in this school, and I hope to see you at the polls. Thank you to my opponents.